I think that pedaling is the most underrated and overlooked element of piano playing by far. I've seen so many people on YouTube who have taught themselves piano from scratch using just YouTube videos and tutorials. You know, they've decided on a piece of music that they love, and they've clearly spent hundreds of hours and months of their life trying to figure out all the intricacies of it, diving deep, trying to figure out how to execute difficult passages, watching tutorials and other pianists, and eventually succeeding, eventually managing to play the whole piece. And then they ruin it by pedaling terribly. Because if you pedal terribly, either you make a mess of it or it becomes super choppy. In either case, it's not what you want if you're going to spend so many of your waking hours trying to perfect something that you love. So I want to nail down exactly how to pedal effectively, how to pedal correctly, so that you keep your playing prim, proper, and clean. Okay, so the first thing is conceptually think of the pedal a little bit like water in a painting, right? The way that a painter uses water to blend his colors, to create gradients, and to help create cohesion in the work. The pedal is the same thing. The pedal can be used to link different harmonies together, to eliminate gaps, and to blend the harmonies and colors of the piano, and to really create beautiful atmospheric effects. And the trouble is that our first intuition about how to pedal is 9 times out of 10 incorrect. So let me demonstrate what the incorrect intuition is that people have, and then I'll show you how to fix it. So most folks, when they discover what the pedal does, they're like, oh, that's cool. It holds all the notes down. So if I have the pedal down here, and we start with the C major chord, the notes are held. If we then go to the next chord, D minor, which is right next to that, all the notes are just one note to the right of C major. What they'll tend to do is they'll lift the pedal and then press the notes and the pedal down at the same time. That's the incorrect intuition. So they'll lift the pedal and press both down. But you'll notice that if you do this, if you lift the pedal before you get to the new chord, you create a gap. So you kind of defeat the purpose of a pedal. The pedal here is supposed to string together the chords that I just played. It's supposed to make them sound blended and smooth without any gaps. But if you play it the way that I just did, you have gaps in between each one, defeating the purpose. So here's the trick. This is the key. Instead of having the fingers and foot go down at the same time, they do the opposite. So let me demonstrate. The pedal is down. We have a C major chord that is held. When we go to the next chord, the moment that the chord is played, the moment that the keys are depressed, the foot shoots up and then comes back down. Up, down. You see? Up, down. Up, down. That's the key. If you can manage to learn this and make it second nature, you will have very clean pedal for like 95% of piano literature out there. So I would actually recommend that you say the words up, down. It'll keep yourself a little bit more accountable and make it easier to learn. But it'll take you maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 days to pull this off, to kind of get comfortable with it. And then another couple of days to build it into your second nature so you don't have to think about it. But once you've learned it, you'll have it forever in your back pocket. So once more, that's pedal down, and then up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. That's the key. Now, there are 2 pieces that I might recommend. You don't have to play the whole thing, but if you just learn the first couple bars of Gynopédie, number 1, in G major by Erik Satie, and the first few bars, first bar or 2, of the Prelude in C minor, number 20 by Chopin. Those are very useful pieces or starts of pieces to get yourself comfortable with pedaling. So you can do the way that I just did, which is just play triads, right? Just the same chord traveling up, and do the pedaling exactly as I described. Up, down, on the chord, not before it, not before it. The pedal comes up on the new note or on the new chord. So if we take, for example, the Gynopédie, number 1. Notice my pedal. So what you'll notice is that I'm pedaling on every new bass note. So there's a new pedal here. So we start with the pedal down. And then on the bass note D, up, down. Up, down. Up, down. As a small sidebar, make sure that when you're pedaling, you don't lift your heel. The heel should be on the floor, and you're pedaling much like the way you drive a car. You don't lift the heel. Up, down. The second little piece of advice is, as you're learning this little section, what you'll notice is that you'll have to finish the sequence of up-down movements of the foot before you leave the bass note. So up-down has to occur before you leave to arrive at the next chord. Same thing over here. Up-down has to occur before you leave for the next chord. If you leave the note early, it doesn't matter if you're pedaling correctly, you'll lose the bass note and it'll sound choppy. So make sure that you hold the note with your finger until up, down is fully complete, and then you can leave to go to the next one. Up, down. And similarly with the prelude in C minor, you start with the pedal down, and then you change on each new chord. Down, up, down. Like that. And that's it. Those are the basics of pedaling. If you can manage that, take about a week to kind of slowly work it into your habit system and into your piano technique. And if you can manage that, you'll be able to play any piece very, very cleanly, which makes a huge difference, an enormous difference in the final calculus of things. And you'll be able to play any piece that comes your way.